Good ball movement. Here's Isles trying to get on the outside. Carlin Isles wins it by miles yet again. Terrific try.
Hi, welcome to American Rugby Rundown. So the Wellington Sevens tournament was this past weekend. The U.S.'s first match was against Samoa, who they beat 24-20, when it actually should have been not as tight as a game. The Eagles were a better team, except that they gave up crucial penalties at key points in the match, and Samoa was able to capitalize on it. So then the next match was against England. They lost 5-19. England actually also lost to Samoa, so that's a weird kind of triangle thing. But then England would go on to the Cup semifinals, losing to New Zealand. So England had a really good tournament. Then the next day, the Eagles, U.S., beat France 29-21, which advanced them to the Cup quarterfinals. And then they had Fiji, which obviously Fiji is really good at sevens, and it's just hard to beat them, and the Eagles lost 12-21 to Fiji. They then, later in that day, went to the plate semifinals against Australia, and then they lost again 5-17. The Eagles, this was a very kind of off tournament for them. They did decently, but they weren't kind of firing on all cylinders. They were just kind of, it wasn't quite clicking right for them, especially now that we have a high standard for them, a higher standard and higher expectations for them than we've ever really had as a fan base. And so when we see them have an off tournament, we go, what's happening? But overall, they did play decently. There's lots of positives to draw off of. Ben Pinkelman, it was his first tournament for the Eagles, and he did really well. He was everything we were hoping him to be. He showed a lot of heart, a lot of passion, and he's going to be relied a lot more in the coming tournaments, especially next week in Sydney. Unfortunately, Kevin Swern suffered an ACL injury. Previously in his career, he tore his ACL, had to have surgery, so this is obviously not good for him. We don't want to see anybody get injured seriously, so hopefully he can make a speedy recovery and come back. Next week's tournament is in Sydney. We are in Pool D, and in that pool also is England again. We'll see if we can correct the mistakes of this past tournament. And Japan and Wales. Japan and Wales shouldn't be too much of a problem, and we should be able to advance to the next round of play after pool play fairly easily. Hopefully, I'm really going to look to see how the Eagles play against England this coming week, because we just played them back-to-back weeks. Can we correct our mistakes from the previous tournament? And also, so in the 7 series, we were at 3rd place, tied with Argentina, but now we dropped to 6th place. But it's tight. We are only 2 points away from 4th. So it's still very much any team's tournament, really, for those top couple spots. If we can do well in Sydney, we'll definitely shoot right back up. New Zealand went on to win the Wellington tournament, which is kind of cool for them since Wellington is in New Zealand. And so next week's in New Zealand. Also next week is the start of the America's Rugby Championship. Men's 15s is playing Argentina this Saturday at 7 p.m. Houston time. So I don't know. In Houston, whatever time zone they're in. It's at 7 p.m. They're playing against Argentina. Todd Clever's back. And it's our first match with new head coach John Mitchell. I'm going to preview that game a little bit more in depth later this week, probably Friday or maybe even Saturday before the game, to really just look at how we're going to do. And so, yeah, like, comment, subscribe. How did you think that the Eagles, the men's 7s team did this past tournament? How do you think they're going to do next week in Sydney? And are you excited for America's Rugby Championship? I'm very excited. I might be at that match. I'm not sure yet. So hit me up on Twitter, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later this week.